So pretty much you started touching on it there, JJ. Like the perception is, well, on Twitter. I mean, in real life, in reality, and in Hollywood or in the larger entertainment business, there's no perceived war of AEW versus WWE. Right. But like on Twitter and on Reddit and some of these places, there's this idea that it's WWE versus AEW. And I have talked about this stuff on my live shows and my podcast ad nauseum, but I want your guys' thoughts. Like, what is your perception of the AEW versus WWE quote unquote war? Where are you guys as far as fans of both? Like, I want to know, what are you both watching for each, like WWE and AEW? What's your perception of it? AEW gets praised as like it's this more indie style and sports base. I disagree. Maybe indie, but again, that's on some good indies. There's some good, I don't know, is MLW an indie? Is that considered an indie? There's some people doing some good, out there. And I know you were talking about GCW. I like some of their stuff. Maple Leaf Pro. I try to support that. So just what are you both watching as far as both companies and just the overall, is there a war? Can AEW fill that void of WWE going to Saudi Arabia? I say no. What do you guys think?
I am not. I like to get together with my friends and watch wrestling, and it never has been easier, and never has there been more wrestling. We've watched the Worlds Collide, which I never thought I'd watch, but it was nice. It was on YouTube, so I have a couple guys over. I do watch, and I don't want to say that I'm not going into it with an open mind, but I do watch, usually with wrestling friends, AEW, for the sake of lampooning it while it's happening, for the sake of getting drunk and watching the show, because there's always something. Something's always overbooked. Something's always done wrong. Something's always botched. And
it's a parody of wrestling.
There's never a time that there's not. When I think about, oh man, what was it? And I really like Bryce Remsburg, but it was
I'm so sorry, and I'm sorry if you guys are friends. These are my own opinions, but I think he's worse than Aubrey when it comes to his over. I'm so sorry, dude. I've had to roast him. He's like, just the one show he was like crawling over and he jumped up on one foot. He's like hurt, but he literally steps up on one foot. One steps up on one foot, two steps up on the other. It's like, dude, if my referee was doing that, I'm fighting the referee. You know what I mean, dude? Yeah. I'd be like, count the pin. Why are you jumping in the air? You're supposed to be hurt. I don't know. Sorry, I'm just talking.
Maybe someone can refresh my memory, but that last show, I think it was a match with Max, or maybe it was the Dean Ambrose thing, but there was some weird, I don't know. There's always something. They always do too much with their finishes, especially the women. There's always too much going on that would have to hit absolutely perfect for it to not botch in some way, shape, or form. Everything's usually so convoluted. And, I have friends there. I like that they're getting paid.
Sure.
Sometimes there's some good stuff. But for the most part, I'm watching it because I know it's going to be bad. I know I can drink. I know we can laugh. And I know we can point and laugh at this dog too long of a show.
That's it's so bad that's the thing. Oh man, it's like, imagine if that's like a movie. Oh yeah, it's like, so it's good. I mean, that's kind of a victory for them. Maybe they'll sell a few extra pay-per-views doing it that way, but it's so sad that like so many people have come to that conclusion.
I do that with film also.
Yeah,
I do go see Godzilla's to get trashed and look at how bad this movie is.
Yeah,
I do go see the Jurassic Park. Like the last 3 Jurassic Parks have been drunken shows where we're laughing and having the best time the Marvels movie with the exposition and all that stuff. Like, so I do this in other forms of my life, and it's kind of even what I'm doing with Untrained Wrestling on YouTube. Is we're watching bad wrestling and we're having a
Right.
laugh and we're taking the piss out of it. And bad wrestling I enjoy almost as much as good wrestling, sometimes more, because I've seen good wrestling. I've watched good wrestling. I've watched enough wrestling for 10 lifetimes.
Yeah.
So I don't mind spending the money. If I have guys over, I don't mind buying the pay-per-view because I'm not going to jump up and try to find illegal streams in the middle of something.
I do.
So I don't mind giving them their money because I'm going to have a great time.
Yeah. Well, it's good that you're supporting it in that way. But yeah, it's just, I feel like so many people now just like lampoon it to where, like, because let's be honest, that's not the way you grow a business or do. And I know some people, like, here's the thing, I don't give a fuck if a movie makes like $1 billion. If I enjoy it, I enjoy the movie. Same with wrestling, same with any art. It doesn't really, like, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the wrestling business is about working people and drawing in fucking, people, paying customers to see this live entertainment, especially when you're on TV. And I think that's the thing that drives me nuts the most with AEW is, like, at some point, if you're going to do this, like, go ahead and do it. But it's like a weekly TV show, and we have all these media outlets trying to pretend it's like beating Raw in the ratings and shit. Most people either watch it to make fun of it or just stopped watching it entirely. And I don't know, man. As somebody who wants to see another like WWE versus WCW scenario, it just was like a dagger to the heart for me as a fan. AEW, after like the first 2-3 years, I was like, oh man, no, they just fucked this up. As far as like, going to war with WWE, but the people like to pretend that the war's heating up more than ever right now, and that Tony Khan should book shows like, WWE's going to Saudi Arabia, and Tony Khan should book shows on the same day before they're like, how dare WWE counter program AEW, and then now they're begging for AEW to counter program WWE. It's deranged, man. It's insane to me. JJ, what's your take on all of that and the wrestling war? And are you keeping up? Like, I watch all AEW. Like, every week I watch Dynamite, I watch Collision, I watch Raw, I watch SmackDown, I watch NXT. If I'm gonna not watch something, it'll be like TNA or MLW. I even like throwing on old WWF before I throw on some of the modern shit sometimes. Like Matt said, dude, I've seen enough wrestling in my life, to where I can make fun of it. I hate watch shit. I like to lampoon things. I like jocktobering things myself personally. So I think that's why I'm still fascinated by AEW. It's like I want to see the shit show unfold. But for you, like, yeah, where are you at with the war, and what are you keeping up with? Are you just like, fuck AEW, I'm not watching this shit? Or
I mean, I DVR AEW in case there's something I need to watch, but there's only so many hours in the day for me. And I mean, I watch, I watch Raw and SmackDown as it is. Most of the times, I'll end up catching SmackDown on my DVR because I'm not home when it's on live. I like the advantage of Raw being on Netflix because I can, if I miss something, I can go back and watch it later with no commercials. I try to catch TNA when I can. I really fell off the wayside with NXT because I hate Sean's booking. And I plus I don't get the CW on my provider, so I have to watch it on the app the next day. MLW, if I'm sitting there on YouTube, I'm like, oh, they're doing a live pay-per-view tonight, I'll throw it on for a little bit. But I can't put aside time to fucking watch AEW because I know it's going to be a shit show. And I know that within an hour of it happening, I'm going to get a message from somebody somewhere going, did you see what happened? And I go, just send me the clip.
yeah,
Or tell me when it happens in the show and I'll go look at it later because I can't dedicate my time to it. As it was when AEW first started, I boycotted the product from day one because it involved the Young Bucks, and fuck those motherfuckers.
damn. Matt, are you as strong against the Young Bucks?
No, I was not. I did not get into a public dispute with the Young Bucks like JJ did, though. So I don't have that. I've got my own guys that JJ doesn't have problems with that I have big problems with. So
This is true.
we don't have to. We don't have to. We don't fight each other's battles. We don't hate the same people. But
yeah, no, you
I'm
just
not.
bring it up during a roast, right, motherfucker?
Yeah, good roast. That's when you do bring that stuff up.
Yeah, exactly. That's the perfect place for it.
Yeah, no, because side story, PvP used to do an annual roast of a certain wrestler. They would pick a different one every year, and the year all the shit happened between me and the fucking Young Bucks, which wasn't that much, but that year, like, every person on the dais was taking aims at me and the fucking Young Bucks.
So what, just refresh the PWT universe. I think you may have explained it before, but just briefly, like, what happened between you and the Bucks?
It was something so unbelievably stupid. It was the night of an ROH pay-per-view. They came out, they were dressed like Bailey. And all I did, I saw
Hugger Bailey.
I saw a picture where they had because they were doing the streamers and they had their hair up in side ponytails and shit. And I was on Twitter. I saw the picture. I did not mention them. I did not at them, nothing. And I just went, so now the Young Bucks are dressing like Bailey. Face it, guys, Vince is never going to give you a job. That's all I said. That is all I said. And a couple hours later, all of a sudden, fucking one of them, I forget which one, is in my mentions, and he was just like, what the fuck do you know? Burn in Markel, you fat piece of shit. And
Jesus.
I responded with, wow, that's really eloquent. By the way, I'm a promoter. That's all I said. That is all I said, because they were still taking indie bookings at the time. And if this is how you're going to treat an indie promoter, like, why should people book you? That is all I said. And then boom, right after that, they're adding fucking Kevin Owens, and they're adding all their fans saying this motherfucker needs to be taken down. His company needs to get taken down. And my fucking company's social media got flooded with fucking DMs from all these fucking basement goblins. And it was just this giant snowball effect of bullshit, because they were vanity searching themselves after the ROH show.
Damn.
And I went, you're fucking children. And I ended up having to, like, lay low, and my company didn't run for 6 months because we had to fucking take the heat off of everything.
You were dodging super kicks left, right, and center, bro. Couldn't even walk these streets without fucking eating a Meltzer driver, dude.
Such bullshit.
And what year was that? I'm presuming like 2017, like around then?
I think it was like 2016, wasn't it, Matt?
2016, yeah, okay.
You guys came back in 2016, correct?
Yeah.
So it must have been, I bet it was either shortly after that. I bet it was 2016, 2017.
So our company our new company started in 2015, and I think, like I said, I think it was like the end of 2015 that it happened, and we took some time off and I came back in 2016.
Speaking of Wild Times, what's like the craziest, I guess, just quickly too, because we are going to talk about WrestlePalooza and all that, but I like just chatting you guys up about, you guys have so many funny fucking stories and cool experiences. What are your guys's, like, besides that, any like beef or dramatic thing or crazy indie story that ever happened that you want to share? Like something, it could be something funny, putting someone over.
I mean, I've had run-ins. We've dealt with so many names that, you have a story for all of them, whether, this guy was cool, Ethan Page was cool and drank with us till 5 a.m. or, Matt Bourne came in and it was trash, didn't take a bump. Well, didn't take a bump in the ring.
Not one single bump.
Not one single bump in the ring. Or Marty Jannetty trying to get you to drive him to the Packy 5 minutes before his match. Or, and there's nice things too. But I've had no, I can't really. I had an incident. I had an incident with Justin Credible that we have yet to unpack on our podcast. So I think that's a longer story. So I wouldn't want to get into that. But yeah, definitely had an incident with Justin Credible. I announced that it was the intermission, and I did this live. You can find it on IWTV. I announced that it was the intermission of a show when, in fact, there was one more match before intermission, and it was Sabu versus Jeremy Leary. And Sabu took issue with that and threw a chair at me.
Dude, that's legendary, though.
Oh, that's Terry.
But
that's a fucking awesome story, bro. How many people have that story,
Yep. Oh, maybe a few, but yeah.
Actually, yeah, come to think of it, Sabu, you fucking hurling chairs at everybody.
But and I worked a show with Boogeyman, who got very upset and left, and nobody wanted to bring him to the. Nobody wanted to bring him back to Worcester to get his stuff out of the hotel because I guess he was kind of a prick to Orange Cassidy and some other people on this show. So, but I didn't care because.
Did you have to slap Santino Marella over it after?
No, I did not. Luckily, I did not, because I'd have to take that grudge to my grave, apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
Where I got to spend probably 4 or 5 hours with Boogeyman, driving him and hitting the bowl a couple times. So that was fun. I've definitely had some fun times, a couple bad times, and it's just, every show's something different, especially with this ACW, the Awesome Championship Wrestling. There's just names every show, and even the names that aren't really names. It's good to work with these guys because, it's a show that started strong and has continued strong, and they're on their 5th or 6th show now, and it hasn't died out like most of the promotions that try to do this. And JJ and I have called, and I don't know who coined the phrase, but we've come to call it tax relief pro wrestling, because you see these shows pop up in the spring when guys get their tax money back, and it's half TNA, half AEW guys with a couple of MLW guys thrown in.
Yeah.
And you're just like, you're not making money off this. There's no way you're making money off this. You have 5 guys that cost $1,000 on this show.
Yeah.
And you're not selling 500 tickets. So let me know.
JJ, what about you besides your beef with the Bucks? What's like a story that comes to mind where you're like, oh, this was crazy?
So the first school I was at, because I helped out at 2 academies. So the first school, the owner was my friend Mike Milano, who was a promoter and he was a manager. The in-ring trainers were just incredible. Ron Zombie, who was a graduate of Killer Kowalski's, and unfortunately Jason Knight, who was he was in ECW. He was the sexiest man on earth. Jason, the guy who did all the shit with Nicole Bass.
Yeah.
Jason is a vile piece of shit, and anyone who knows him will tell you the same thing.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, Jason's a terrible person. I stuck up for him way too long for him to just stab me in the back. So what happened was, when we first opened the school, we did a thing where we did Sunday afternoon TV tapings. We would tape and put it up on our website. We would do those every Sunday, and then at the end of the month, the final Saturday of the month, we would do the big blow-off show on the Saturday night, where it would be the culmination of everything that happened on the TV. It was a nice little setup. So the first Saturday night show, or the second Saturday night show, I should say, the second month in, the main event was supposed to be Ron Zombie and Dylan Cage had turned heel, and they were supposed to face Jason and Credible as the Impact players. Jason and Credible at the beginning, me and my commentary partner are in the ring, giving the rundown of the show. The heels come out, start, kind of pushing us into the corner, and then the baby faces are supposed to come out and run them off. When they come to do the run-in, Jason did the slide-in on the wrong side of the ring and busted his fucking kneecap.
Oh, shit.
He's sitting in the back, and they're trying to figure out how are we going to do this now, because he can't walk, so he can't obviously do the main event, yada, yada. Luckily, Tony DeVito was there because he was a friend and everything. He ended up just popping in on the side. Everything was fine. But in the meantime, Jason's sitting in the back, and he had decided to gig for this opening spot. So he's in the back bleeding from the forehead. And he's just drinking and drinking and drinking because Jason's an alcoholic. So he's
who isn't? Am I right? No.
He's bleeding and drinking and bleeding and drinking, and we're just like, we don't know what we're gonna do because he's just unruly. And the way the way we were set up was behind the big thing. The setup for the entranceway to the back was like the backstage area. And there was a loading bay door, and outside the loading bay was the parking lot where we would open up, and we had a grill because on nights during the summer we would cook for the boys after practice and stuff. Jason's drunk ass at one point is like yelling at everyone, and everyone's like, Jason, just go outside and blow off some steam. He goes outside, and there's a bunch of us outside. It's because it was during intermission. He takes a look at the grill, and he goes, "Are you talking shit?" And he gets in a fight with the fucking grill and lost.
Oh my god. So
the grill falls on top of him. And he's like a turtle on its back.
What the fuck, bro? Get off me, bro.
Like, this is fucking bullshit.
Where is
Yeah.
that guy?
He was such a fucking embarrassment.
Oh shit. Did anyone get his name?
Right?
Oh man, that's fucking funny.